You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan Zo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together we are
Rope Break.
And how's every single one of you today, family? It is time for the go home show for before Classic Champions Gold Rush, and I want to ask Jean-Paul Leek, was it legit, or are you ready for some bullshit?
Well, it's Friday night. What are we ever gonna get anything legit? No. This was a big heaping pile of bullshit. I can't really think of anything in this show that was legit or made sense. Even commentary, a lot of the matches, Michael Cole would be like, Corey Graves, does this match benefit anybody, before the pay-per-view? Corey Graves is like, no.
Well, no, that's what I mean, Jean-Paul.
So it's like, no, this whole show, it doesn't benefit, nothing on this show benefited anybody.
Yes, absolutely right. So, this was not a good show. I mean, a few things, maybe bits, but stuff were kind of decent. We got the promo by Jey Uso was semi-decent on the main event. A good match with Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles. But we're going to see that match on Sunday.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What difference is it going to make if I see this already on Friday? Jean-Paul, you know what? We're fighting on Sunday. Let's do the same thing, but we incorporate the ladder, right? Yeah.
And you even heard something, there was a report where Vince says I don't book things for the fans, because clearly we know he books it for him. And then I'm pretty sure there was a comment made by Michael Cole, something about, something about for the fans, or
yeah, okay.
And it's like, okay, yeah.
Like
you said, yeah, these pay-per-views are they don't feel special because we see the match on TV.
Yeah, that and also
2 days beforehand.
And because the network, they own the network, they can just, let's probably put a pay-per-view because people are going to be interested because it's called pay-per-view, regardless of what we put. If we give absolutely jack shit, they're going to still love it. So that's what WWE does. So, thank you so very much for watching every single thing of our content. We have a big surprise for Sunday, so stick around because Jean-Paul and myself are going to announce to the world that we're expecting. No, we're not expecting none of that crap. None of that nonsense. No, we have a really big crashing news for every single one of you. But before that, don't forget to check the AEW Dynamite review with Cody Rhodes returning. She's looking at Jean-Paul. He's like, I'm back, motherfucker. Yeah. I know you hate me. And Juan loves my theme song, so it's legit. So don't forget to check that out. It's really good. Jean-Paul also, remember, NXT Review with Candice LeRae and Kyle Oreilly going to Takeover. Same reason that we mentioned, why we have Clash of Champions right away, why we had Payback right away, why we had SummerSlam, and now NXT Takeover, because the WWE Network, WWE owns that, so we can put pay-per-views whenever they want, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, and they think just calling something a pay-per-view, it'll pop the fans, so then they watch that instead of maybe AEW, who knows, but yeah, a lot of times it even feel like a pay-per-view.
And, and like Jean-Paul says, can we live? Can we live? So, that's what it is. So pretty much that's what it happens. But family, let's start with the beginning of the show from SmackDown, and that was actually the three guys that are going to be fighting in the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, and that was going to be Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles. Right there, Jean-Paul, they were all talking, and Corey Graves, I don't know what he was needed there. I just don't understand what was the point of having him on there. He was asking kind of a few questions. So AJ says, Jean-Paul, I don't understand why Sami is here. You got the summer off, and you still believe that you're the IC champion. Keep dreaming. He took shots. AJ was in a really bad mood today, Jean-Paul. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually liked this, except for, if we weren't seeing this match in 2 days, I thought this whole, segment, the back and forth, all these guys are good promos. I even like when Jeff Hardy, because, Sami Zayn was firing back too, and Jeff's like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually agree with AJ.
Yeah.
Jeff's like, hey, I got to stick with my TNA boy. This is some bullshit. And, it was good. But Corey Graves is there to just stir the pot, to just be like, oh, hey, ooh, I think this guy said this, I think this guy said that. And then it's like, huh? What, to instigate. And it's just, Corey Graves is just so shit on SmackDown. You and I say it all the time. It's just, he was legit in NXT as a commentator, main roster, and done like everything else. But this, I like this back and forth though.
Oh yeah, I like this. Like you said. I like also Sami saying whatever everything started when you guys started that tournament. So I don't really like that. So he kind of was leaving, right? He just leaves right there. He's just leaving. He's like, you guys, whatever. He's like, I'm done with you guys. I don't really care. So then Adam Pearce comes out and he gets added to the match because he's supposed to be AJ and Jeff Hardy. So it's like, no. You're going to be added to the match and becomes a triple threat. And right away, I texted you. I'm like, what are they fighting? Why are we seeing the match that we're supposed to see on Sunday? So you said so. And I mean, the match was pretty decent, right? I really enjoy how Sammy finally is fighting. I like that. It's just because it's good. I see, the Blue Thunder Bomb. I see actually he was trying for the Haluva kick. So, like, I really enjoy this, like, seeing Sami Zayn finally becoming an active wrestler one more time. AJ Styles did amazing. Jeff Hardy did pretty good. So, he came out as a really, really triple threat. But like we said, we're going to see the same thing on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's hard to, not that they did anything super crazy. Obviously, they'll incorporate the ladders, on Sunday, and it'll make it a lot more exciting. But I feel like we're going to probably see a couple of the same spots we saw, tonight again on Sunday.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, how much more exciting is that going to be? Oh, but Jeff Hardy's going to do a swanton off the ladder, instead. So it's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, I guess that'll be legit. But, I mean, I do like the ending sequence, though, when he hit the phenomenal form and then Sammy steals the win, and it's like, like
that. He's legit saying, right there for every single one of you marks that don't like to understand what we're saying, or like they question what we're saying.
Jeff Hardy, when they were talking, he did say legit. And exactly. I never heard Jeff Hardy say legit before, so what does that tell you?
He's watching Road Break, so thank you, Jeff, for watching. He's a cool guy. But then, the match wasn't over yet because, despite we get to see nope, it's not over because AJ Styles grabbed the ladder and he beat, Sammy and Jeff, really, really good, though. And this is what we see as the last piece of, the Intercontinental Championship segment, and I'm, really happy. Because if this is going to be the end result, I don't mind it too much because, AJ Styles is really good. He deserves a title run one more time. But I'm really rooting for Sammy. We're going to do the previews and predictions for Clash of Champions, it's going to come out tomorrow. So, you guys are going to see who are our picks for, this pay-per-view. But I didn't mind see this, picture as the last thing I saw for the Intercontinental segment. What about you, Paul?
No, this was good. I agree with you 100%. The thing that I'm thinking is who's going to be the next person to challenge after, let's say, Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso or whichever one it is, because we still don't know, like you said. Yeah, who is it? Uso. But, when Roman inevitably wins, it's like, okay, who's going to be the next challenger? And I could see it being whichever one doesn't get pinned. So let's say if Sami Zayn pins AJ, then it'll be Jeff Hardy. Vice versa, whoever doesn't get pinned, I would say can move on and go against Roman.
Yes,
because exactly. I would like to see Jeff Hardy, but I mean, if that is the case, I'd like to see Jeff win, and I don't think he will. So I don't want to see anybody go against Roman because he'll just beat him.
Well, anybody that goes against Roman is just going to be the loser at the end of the match. It's done. And talking about things that are done, we're going to talk about Boy because right there, Tucky and Otis, and he says that Mama told me about two things that don't trust on anybody, and especially on lawyers. I think that's what he was trying to say. And then he just says that he's not thinking of letting go the Money in the Bank briefcase. He says I'm not quitting. I'm not gonna give the Miz what he wants. So that's what's gonna do. And then there was a segment with John Morrison and the Miz is saying, well, I want to give the people a better Money in the Bank winner. Because you just pretty much suck. And then Taki had to come in because, of course, Taki, like you said, is better on the mic than Otis. And he's like, hey, Otis won the briefcase fair and square. So I don't understand why you guys, just keep trying with this agenda. And in the end, they just started to feud a little bit, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, they beat up Morrison because Miz was like, whoa, you can't hit me, blah, blah, blah. I have lawyers. They'll sue you into the dirt. You'll be done. And then he was like, oh, yeah, do you? And then they looked at the paper, and it's like, well, it doesn't say anything about protecting John Morrison. And then Morrison looked at Miz and is like, really? Yes. And then they just beat the shit out of Morrison.
That sucks, though. I love John Morrison, and I know you love him more.
Well, I think this is just, this is inevitably the Miz and Morrison are just going to keep losing everything they're involved in. And then Morrison will start at some point be like, dude, you're bullshit. And then that'll kind of start their feud.
It's the same kind of concept of Bayley and Sasha. Yeah. You put me in really stupid spots or really
except Bayley and Sasha actually won and had championships and
yes. I mean this is even worse because there's no goal behind it. Our boy, not our boy, because a guy that is not really a good manager, Tully Blanchard, because we still don't know what he's doing with FTR. But that's a different show, a different conversation. So Jean-Paul, let's go to your girl. Bayley, those straps that only has one right now, she came out and she cut a promo. really didn't say much, didn't really elaborate much on the situation with Sasha and Nikki Cross. She says pretty much, I can see this inspiring video because they gave us a lot of video packages on this show. And she says, well, I see this video one more time, but I don't have time to focus on what I did to Sasha because I gotta focus on my title defense. And to Nikki Cross, hey, I really think that what you said is really cool, is really nice, that you're going to beat me because right now I don't have anybody in my corner. But you know what? I'm still going to be the champion. You know, I want you to think one more time because see what I did to my best friend. See what I'm capable of doing. So, like, you know, when we step in the ring at Clash of Champions Gold Rush, the end result is going to be the same as the other 2 times. Isn't this the truth, Sasha? So what do you think, like, the intensity of the promo?
This is, and this just tells you it's the same thing, like with the, Jey Uso. It's just this is a feud that doesn't matter. This whole thing with Nikki Cross, she mentioned her. She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wipe that stupid smile off your face. Like you had mentioned, oh, what you think? You saw what I did to my best friend. So what do you think? Who's Sasha Banks? So what do you think I'm gonna do to a loser like you? And it just shows that Sasha Banks is the main goal. This thing with Nikki Cross is just like the appetizer. It's just, okay, let's just get through it and done. Nobody cares. We're just waiting for, Bayley and Sasha. And I mean, that's unfortunate to Nikki Cross, but, it is what it is. It's like, how many times can she keep having title opportunities? That's like, in the other
the money feud is Sasha and Bayley. So, like, the point of this is just to get us through that. So, like, we just got to keep going with it.
But I did like this because it was short, it was sweet, it was to the point, and, Bayley's legit.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. So, Jean-Paul, pretty much that was, like, the segment featuring or, like, hyping the match for what is going to be Clash of Champions, Nikki Cross and Bayley. Of course, previous and predictions, you and me will be talking about even more about this. But now we go to, like, Grand Metal League going against Shinsuke Nakamura. This was really fast. And actually, I remember we said last week, that actually Grand Metalik was going to win this time. But no, actually, Shinsuke Nakamura got the win, right?
Yeah, and this match wasn't too bad either. Like, it wasn't the longest match like you had said, but for me, it didn't need to go long. And it still played up the whole, dissension storyline with the Lucha House Party. The one thing I didn't care for, it's right. I mean, I like the ending. Nakamura's legit. I love how it was Kinshasa done. It was clean.
I love that.
There was no bullshit from Cesaro, and I wish it would have been no bullshit after the match either. I didn't like how as soon as it ended, he's in the ring, Lince Dorado done, and then they beat up Kalisto afterwards, or like push him down. They're like, "Why are you bullshit?" And he's like, "Come on, guys, I'm just trying." Yeah, he's like, "Come on."
It's like, are you guys not gonna do like NXT UK? Yeah, we are.
He's like, I worked 14-hour shift at Wawa. Why are you treating me like bullshit?
Yeah. Why? Yeah. So like, once again, it's like, why?
Yeah. But I mean, the match though, besides all the jokes, the match was legit. I mean, because Nakamura, the champs look strong. They look good going into the pay-per-view, but I hope that's not a sign that, okay, we're going to put the belts on the Lucha House Party. I'm nothing against them. I do want to see them be champs, but, I don't know. What are you going to do if they're champs? Because you have this, the storyline that they're feuding within themselves, so.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Like, well, let's move forward, Jean-Paul. Let's move forward, and like, Uso, is it Uso time? Because Uso was trying to like get a hold of his cousin, and this situation, like you were saying to me, this absolutely grosses me out. It's a really bad storyline because just you can see how much Vince has a heart on for like the freaking Samoan family. I'm just tired of it because like really they gave a really long video package just featuring like everybody, featuring like this stuff with like. Jay, and like they had like Afa, they had Sika, they had like Roman when they were kids, and the whole thing with like the family affair and all of that. And I just didn't like that a single thing. I don't know what you think of it, but for me, the fact that like we know that Roman is gonna win, I cannot get behind Jay. It bothers me. It's stupid, and especially like knowing that like the McMahons are actually pushing that agenda on me. I don't want to see it. I'm not interested. I'm sorry.
No, and I'm not either. Like the way that we could get behind Jay is I knew that this is how they were going to do it. They didn't light the fire under Jay's ass until 3 minutes before the show went off the air, When the whole time the feud, he should have been like, "Hey, I don't care that we're family. I came to WWE to be a champion. You know, my brother's not here, so it's not going to be a tag champ. It's going to be singles champ, going after the Universal Championship. You know, cut a legit promo and go for the goal, not just oos, we're family, oos, and he's knocking on the door, oos, oos, and I'm like, really? Like this is who's excited for this? Nobody, because like you said, we're going to see a decent match, decent. I'm not going to say good. I'm not going to say it's bad. Decent. But spear, Superman punch, done.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Supposedly also, Jean-Paul, breaking news. Roman is going to debut a new theme song and a new gear.
I'm fine with that because it's like, to me, is the Shield. So
yeah, it's just been the Shield for what, Jean-Paul? 6 years already.
Mm-hmm.
We've been seeing at least Dean or like John Moxley had a different music. Seth Rollins had a different theme song that he cannot use anymore. So and then we got to see this. It's like, well, like everybody's been asking me why like Uzi was like having like a really angry face by the end of last week's show. So I want him to explain that to me and everybody else. So then we get to see like the even more cringy thing, at least for me, is not working, at least for me. One more time, I'm talking in first person. We get to see Paul Heyman coming out. And he's just pretty much saying, well, Roman is going to talk, or the tribal chief, or how they like to call it. That to me is even more stupid than anything. Like, he's going to like address everybody, like Jay and everybody else under his own time, on his own time. He's like, right now, no. He's like, we will like do it. And of course, they got to set up something for the end of the show, but I just don't like that. Everything for me, this whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to see it. I don't care for that.
Well, it's awful. It's Paul Heyman and Roman are like little girls. It's like, no, we're gonna do it when we want to do it. Like, just answer the question. And also, the whole thing is like, him and Roman, they hugged and they were legit, and then Roman gave him a mean, nasty look. Like, really? That's what we're gonna be upset about? That because he gave him a mean look? This is a sport where people beat the shit out of each other, right?
Yes.
But a mean, nasty look is like.
That's what I mean. You're not making any sense. And like I said to you, the whole thing about the family, we're cousins, we were raised together, and Roman always was the main guy. And
how about that picture where Roman is being held by Hulk Hogan, and it's like he was always destined for greatness, just because Hulk Hogan was holding him as a kid.
So like, you and me have to show the picture that Hulk Hogan is hugging us, and just be like, we were destined for greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I will never. Even if Hulk Hogan would want to hug me right now or like put him under his shoulders, I will refuse that 100%. And I will say, because of you, Randy is dead, and I will never talk to you. And it bothers me that the guy that like delivered the news about Animal, Hulk Hogan. What does Hulk Hogan have to do with like Animal? H, love you, brother. No, I don't love you, brother.
Yeah,
no.
It's 7:30 in the morning, 8 in the morning. I'm laying down to go to bed. I open up Twitter. Hulk Hogan's like, Animal. I literally tweeted at Hulk Hogan. I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Like,
that's what I mean.
Because I was like, Hogan's, he's hitting the juice or something again. But he was actually right. But it's like, really, that's who breaks the news?
Yeah, exactly. That's what breaks the news. That makes the news even more sad.
But it must have made, maybe he's truthful though, because he broke the news about Roman being destined for greatness, even when he was a baby.
Well, I guess if Hulk Hogan hugs you, you're watchable. Destined for greatness.
Yep.
We gotta show those pictures when you and me were little and Hulk Hogan was hugging us. So anyway, let's go to something good, Jean Paul. I mean, not to like legit promo, right, bro? Right there, there's the bro. He's right there. He was talking about like he's gonna have finally another match with Baron Corbin. And this match, like, he's gonna prove everybody, he's gonna show the world that like the difference between being a stallion and a jackass. Also, Baron Corbin had another promo, but we don't really care for Baron Corbin. So like that was like pretty much like we were gonna see Jean Paul right there. Now, Matt Riddle, Baron Corbin too, because even they have highlights of Matt Riddle pinning Baron Corbin at Payback. But in this time, Jean Paul, actually we got a different winner. So what do you think about this? Because I was actually surprised that like we didn't actually get to see Matt Riddle getting the upper hand. What's this, Jean Paul?
Well, I guess they want to have this be a feud instead of just, Matt Riddle, he beats Baron Corbin, and then he kind of just hangs tight until the IC champ is decided, and then, Matt Riddle can feud with the IC champ. I guess they want to do this feud because they think this is what people care about. They still try to get Corbin over, and he's never going to get over. Not the way WWE's presenting him, not with this king gimmick, and they just make him really annoying and just try to like get under people's skin and piss them off. And he does, but not to the level where it's like, oh, we want to see you get beat up. It's like we want to see you get beat up so bad that you're just not on our television screens anymore.
Yeah,
but for him to get a win here over Matt Riddle, I mean, the match was good, and you're like, oh, okay, but Matt Riddle, he's gonna win, it's gonna be legit, and then he goes for the Broton, he gets the knees up, end of days, 1, 2, 3, and it's like, okay, I guess, I guess we're gonna see more of this, and who asked to see more of this? Vince McMahon, I guess, because I can't think of anybody with more than 2 brain cells. I would want to see these 2 guys keep feuding, but
I did like you said, the match. There was a really cool spot when like Matt were going for like the kick, and then he grabbed him, and then he did the dip 6. That was really cool. I like when Matt went for the senton. I like when Matt did like also like a Pele kick. Like it doesn't do it like AJ that he throws himself. He kind of like just throws a little bit, just on like kind of like falling, and then he kicks. That was really cool. But and Corbin, of course, we always mention Corbin can put like good matches.
Yeah, I'll never say he's a bad wrestler. It's just the way that they present him and his gimmick and everything is just what kills him.
Yes, exactly. But I like the whole Riddle did a really good also penalty kick. I really like of course I gotta add the talker. I gotta throw it right there a little bit. So like Riddle did really amazing, and Corbin the end of days is such a like underrated finisher. He's so legit, but he it will be legit if he wins matches with it, or he becomes semi main event with it. It would have been awesome if he would pin Roman with it. But of course, that will never happen. So then we had a promo about my Riddle jump-off, because Kayla Braxton was trying to interview him, get a little bit of his reactions. Right there, he's like, "So you lost? What's going on?" He said, "Don't worry, because I'm gonna keep trying, and I'm gonna make SmackDown the bro show." So I guess they're trying to like pretend that like he lost, but he lost in a good way, kind of like not to completely destroy the character. I will say that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things where he looked good. Both guys looked good in this match. Not like he got his ass kicked. It was just the ending. Obviously he got pinned. And we always say, like, a good match will have, like, both guys will get over, even the loser. And maybe that's what they thought this was here. Riddle, he could still cut this promo. It wasn't like he just laid there dead, like, so. And they had to get a spatula and peel him off the mat. No, he pops up.
He was right there,
Yeah, he pops up, cuts his promo, like I said, I guess they're going to continue this, and we'll see. But I'm not excited to see these guys.
Oh no, nobody is. I don't want to see this ever again. Like also like we got also moving on, Jean Paul. We got another promo by like the mystery girl. Right there, she's untouchable. So there's still maybe some people are saying Chelsea, but Chelsea was saying that she has COVID, so it's done. So Chelsea Green was not on one of the options. Carmella is pretty much 99% like the girl that is going to be. Some people say Melina might be the one. Some people say Tessa Blanchard might be the one. So we will, or Eva Marie, like you also.
Well, I would say, for Melina, I would say the assets don't look as big as they should be for Melina. And I would say I would say for Tessa, definitely not as muscular.
Oh yeah.
So it's Carmella. It's Carmella.
Or like the return of Tennille Dash. No. We will cover Impact. Don't worry, but it's not her. So Jean Paul, right there. Let's go to the man like the kind of the subject that Jean Paul absolutely loves, and this is Lacey Evans going against Alexa Bliss. Jean Paul. So this was tell me like look at this. That's what happens when like after 2 hours that you watch SmackDown.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's her. That's how she looks before she goes to the Firefly Funhouse, and then that's how she looks when she leaves. After.
I hope that SmackDown is going to be a really good show. I have faith. After those 2 hours, done. No, let's go with the match. This match actually was pretty much 90% dominated by Lacey. Alexa, like I can tell you, like her wrestling ability is going worse and worse. She's not the same. She's not close to what that multi-champion woman that we've seen like 2 or 3 years ago. So pretty much like Lacey had to carry her throughout the whole match. What do you think? I mean, it was not good.
Yeah, it was because like you said, she's not a good wrestler, and look how many months she wasn't wrestling. And it's one of the things where some of these people, when they're not wrestling on TV, they're still wrestling off TV, practicing, keeping in shape. Do you think Alexa Bliss was?
No.
So I mean, the ring rust it's a real thing. The term is created for a reason because it's real, and she definitely has it. And Lacey Evans is good, but Lacey Evans is good when she's in there with somebody like Charlotte, Becky, somebody who can carry her. To have her be the one to carry somebody else, I don't think she's ready for that yet. So then, it didn't translate to a good match.
I agree with you, and like that also, like see right there, like see Alexa's ready.
I mean, if you don't care about the quality of match and you just care about the eye candy, it was good. But otherwise, it's like Yeah,
no, it's true. I agree with that. And then we actually throughout the match we got to see like the squeaky sound of the Fiend, and then the laugh. And then you'll see how Alexa gets in the trance that we've been talking about. The trance she just turns into somebody different, to the point that Jean-Paul, it was like the squeaky sound, like right there, like we get to see it from your end, the squeaky sound, and right there, the Fiend comes out and is like, and then she pretty much turned into somebody absolutely different, and she started beating the crap out of Lacey Evans or see right there, the referee's like, don't do it, and the referee had to disqualify the whole thing, and Alexa just completely in trance, and then gets it out of the ring, and then she performs Sister Abigail one more time, gives her the kiss, and does the move, and actually she doesn't do it that bad. I don't think she does it in a bad way. What do you think?
No, well, I mean, this is like the third, fourth time she's doing it now. Yeah. So with that, okay, now that's probably the only wrestling move she's practiced in the last 6 months. So it's like, okay, we're seeing some improvement, but this is just going to be used in the women's championship match for SmackDown. I feel like she's going to come out somehow, screw over Nikki Cross, and that way Nikki Cross doesn't lose clean to Bayley again. It's because it's like,
what I think is look, as she's leaving, right? As she's leaving, we got to say, and she got a stare down, because remember, who took away the title from the Fiend?
Yeah.
So right there, look, she's was staring at Roman the whole time. So you might think that at some point they're gonna play it out that part. They're gonna play it out because I have a great picture from the Road Break sources right there. Look at this. Roman lifting that Universal Championship, and then you see Alexa Bliss right there, Jean-Paul. And I really like this. I hope that you're loving it as much as I am, because I really think that this is going to play part maybe after this feud with Jay is over. Maybe the Fiend is going to challenge, and we'll see what happens. But at least, look, she was looking at that, and that tells me that there's going to be, maybe a continuation with the Fiend and Roman.
Oh, at some point it's going to happen again, but I think when it does, the Fiend has to win. You're not going to have the Fiend challenge him again and then lose. How would that be? Because then it's okay, so...
Well, maybe they're going to keep playing the storyline a little more, and this was the best part for me, this whole interaction, because that's the hook. That tells you, okay, well, maybe at some point, we're planting the seeds.
Yeah, because it's why would... It's okay, I know that you're trying to end the show as fast as possible, and I appreciate that, but it's why is Roman coming out and Alexa Bliss is still in the ring? But then when you see the stare down, you're like, okay, they're planting a seed, so we'll see.
They're planting the seeds. This week we've been doing a lot of seed planting, but let's go to Roman and Paul Heyman right there. This was this was a little bit intense, so I appreciate that, because Roman was a little more truthful. He's like, hey, you don't understand the pressure. You don't understand everything that I have to deal with just to be in the spot that I am. And he's like, I'm always going to be the tribal chief. I'm going to be the one that carries the whole family. It's it's never going to be you. And the line that I didn't like, Jean-Paul, is you being part of the greatest tag team of this whole generation or something. I was like, fuck that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they gotta say that. That's like the young Bucks saying, "Oh, we're the best tag team." Of course, you gotta say that, but
no,
no. I was just gonna say, they're gonna say that, but at one point the Usos were. But then they quickly fell off, and then they never got back on, and they're bullshit. And one thing is just, where's Jimmy?
Oh, he's injured.
Yeah, but I mean, but is he bedridden? Is he are his legs, chopped off? Can he not come in and be like, oh, I'm going to support my brother?
Well, I don't know, but they're pretty much written off TV, and that's why they're doing it, because, they don't want to show the other dude, because if the other dude will show up, you will be in, maybe the tag team, or I don't know, maybe they didn't think that.
Yeah, but I'm saying he could show up just in crutches to, sell an injury and be like, oh, yeah, my bro, it's going to be legit. And then go on
attacks, that will make it, that would make it more personal, yeah. And then he delivered the line that I really like. It's you know what? It could be me. It could be me. Could be the guy. I could be the one that like leads the whole family. And then Jean Paul, like he says, well, I'm tired. Like when they see you, they see the multi-champion, the leader of the Shield, Roman Reigns, the big dog, or like winner of the Royal Rumble, main event WrestleMania 10,000 times. When they see me, they always ask, which Uso are you? Which one are you?
Is this Jimmy or is this Jay?
Yeah. So like he said, well, maybe now I'm gonna try my best for them to say, oh, you're the one that like beat Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions and became Universal Champion. So that was good. See, that's how you end a promo. That's how you end like a line that destroys the whole thing, and I really like that. And then, Jean Paul, like you said, there was finally dissension. There was finally something like Roman got pissed, delivered a Superman punch, and then like, and then look at Jay, done. Look at Jay, pretty much done.
Yeah, and I know you'll agree with me, but as I'm watching this, I'm like, Paul Heyman is not needed.
I say that.
He is not needed at all. Why is he here? He makes all of this just awkward and weird, and like look at him. Look how out of place he looks.
Oh well, I've said to you, like I've said it from the beginning. I remember you were like, "Hey, let's check it out. Let's give it a shot." You were more hopeful than what I was. You were actually, "Hey, let's see what it is." So far, it looks okay. I'm like, no, this is a complete bullshit. And as the weeks go by, you're like, "Yeah, you were right," because it's just the word is that out of place. If the guy like doesn't help you with the talking, because Roman is able to talk after like 3-4 years that he had that bad promo with Cena, he's been able to do a good job when it comes to iterating the promo. He can do a good job. So what is Heyman needed there? For nothing.
Yeah, he's not. I feel like it's just to make Roman feel important. Yeah, like what did WWE posted on their Instagram? A thing with Heyman, it's like, oh, look at all these legit guys who he managed, and it was like Kurt Angle, Lesnar, Big Show, and then Roman, and I'm like, really? He manages Roman for what, like a month, and they're like, oh yeah, he's like one of the greatest that Paul.
That's what I mean. I'm like, okay. There was no reason for this, and that's how the show went off the air with this guy. So I don't know. It's like, am I fighting on Sunday or what? So he promised, like I said, he's going to destroy Jay. We'll see what happens. Of course, the ending is going to be, like you said, Superman punch, spear, and done. New theme song, new in-ring attire. We'll see what happens. But we know that the end is going to be Roman retaining that title. There's not a single way in hell. Not like he's going to, like, the title's going to switch hands. So for me, this is how the show ends, Jean Paul. But, like, does it feel like a go-home show for a pay-per-view, something important? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
It just feels like, okay, Roman is gonna win, and he had the audacity to say that, like, on Raw, they're serving like hamburgers or something like that, while we are serving steak. Yeah. I'm like, if that's the steak, sir, I'd rather keep like with the hamburgers. Because the steak absolutely sucks, is sour, is not well done like I like it. So no, thank you, Mr. Reigns. I don't want to see that, Jean Paul. So for you and for me, let's just remind everybody where they can find us in the social media world, please.
You can find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course, the original Rope Break right here on YouTube for the best podcast in the YouTube wrestling community.
That's right, Jean Paul. And you and me will end up meeting one more time because we have to do NXT UK. This show actually like get us excited because this show is like a lot better, a lot more intensity. So we're gonna talking about that. And family, we're never gonna sleep. Jean Paul promised I'm not gonna sleep throughout this whole pandemic, and he's been like doing it. So like we're gonna be after that. Previous prediction for Clash of Champions. So we have a lot more rubric for every single one of you. So Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is.